I also see many job seekers make mistakes here when they write not a summary but an objective. An objective is what you want to achieve in the position. It's about your benefits and not about the employer's benefits. That's why it's not attractive to hiring managers. Instead, you need to write a summary where you show them their benefits when hiring you, what you can contribute to the company, what you can do for them. So take note of this. A small shift in your voice can catch the hiring manager's attention immediately. Hi everyone, I'm Thea from theaho.co, helping skilled migrants and international graduates get jobs and live a better life. Many job seekers told me I've revised my resume 40 times, 50 times. I've listened to advice from so many people and I still don't get interviews. It's because you're not addressing the right spots. If you don't know where are the most important places of your resume that you must make sure to do it right, again, this is a must, not a should, then watch this video to the end because I'm going to walk you through the most important parts of your resume, point out to you what you're doing wrong, and give you the right way to do it. I only teach what brings results to my clients. I don't want to waste my time and your time to talk about things that you don't need. Ready? Let's dive in. Now, I want to talk about the top part of your resume, which hiring managers will read the first when skimming your resume, which is the profile summary. And my first tip is to nail the summary. This is also where I see many job seekers don't put the right focus. But you should, because if this part is not impressive, hiring managers just move on to the next candidate. They don't read your resume. They just skim your whole resume in just 6 seconds. So this is decided very quickly in just 1 or 2 seconds. You need to have an impressive summary. I also see many job seekers make mistakes here when they write not a summary but an objective. An objective is what you want to achieve in the position. It's about your benefits and not about the employer's benefits. That's why it's not attractive to hiring managers. Instead, you need to write a summary where you show them their benefits when hiring you, what you can contribute to the company, what you can do for them. So take note of this. A small shift in your voice can catch the hiring manager's attention immediately. When job seekers don't make this mistake, meaning they write a summary, but then their summary is very vague. They just claim that they have these skills and experiences, but it's still their personal claims and not convincing. When I read these claims, sometimes I feel like I'm reading the job ad, meaning the hiring manager also has the same feeling that they're copying the job description, which is not a good thing. Instead, you should make it tangible. Make them see what you could do in previous positions, and you will bring the same results to their company if hired. That's the most effective way to convince the hiring manager to interview you. How to do that? In your summary, you should talk about specific skills and experience. Go into more details and list out what skills you've got. Make sure they are aligned with the job requirements. For example, if the job is requiring bank reconciliation, payroll, tax preparation, you should mention these required skills in your summary. Then you use your experience in previous positions to back up these skills. What experience you've got in reconciliation, payroll, and tax? list them out: what you did, what tasks you performed, what issues you faced and solved. Remember to add tangible results to your achievements to make them more convincing to hiring managers. For example, instead of just saying completed complicated bank reconciliations on time every month, you should say completed more than 200 complicated bank reconciliations on time every month. Can you see the difference, right? Hiring managers will also see it and feel more convinced that you've got the experience they're looking for, as you perform the same tasks in previous positions and got results. If you haven't already, please click subscribe to my channel. I will make sure to keep you updated with all the latest strategies about your job search. Do you have a key skill part on your resume? Maybe not yet. I know, that's why I asked. The biggest mistake with resume is job seekers don't have this part on their resume. No. You should have it, and have a good one. My next tip for you is to sharpen key skills. What is the key skill part? It's a part near the top of your resume where you list out the skills you've got in your profession. Very simple, right? But many job seekers don't have it. Let me tell you why you need one. Hiring managers don't read your resume word by word, but at the same time, they also want to know whether you have the skills they're looking for. If you don't make a summary part of your skills, they have to read line by line of your resume to check this, but you know that they don't read. So what do? They move on to the next candidate. I know it's frustrating. That's why you should make it easy for them to see that you have the skills they want by having this part on your resume. Some job seekers do it better by writing the key skill part on the resume, but they just list out keywords such as project management, communication skills, managing stakeholders, etc. They don't know that other job seekers also do the same. They also list out a long list of skills. That's why you can't stand out if you do exactly the same as your competitors. And when hiring managers read this list, they have a doubt of whether you truly own the skills or you just list it out. These two reasons show that what you're doing isn't working. So let's get to the right way to do it, okay? First, you need to have the key skills and make sure these skills align with the job requirements. Meaning, if the job is requiring project management, communication skills, managing stakeholders, you should ensure these skills are covered in your key skills part. Second, apart from the skills, you also need to back them up with your experience or knowledge. Talk about the experience relating to this skill and be very specific, such as what you did, what challenges you faced, what action you took, what problems you solved, if you had any results. So ask yourself as many questions as you can and answer these questions. Then you will use the information in your answer to write specific experiences to back up your skills. If you haven't got a good idea of how to write an impressive key skill part that can stop the hiring manager from skimming and trigger them to read your resume more carefully, I'm going to launch the Ace a Job online course in the next 1 to 2 months. I used to offer one-on-one coaching service, but not anymore. So in this course, I use exactly the same strategies that I coach my one-on-one clients and package it to an online course to make it affordable and more convenient for you to get my coaching. My one-on-one clients got amazing results of landing 5 to 6 figure salary jobs. So if you join this course, you will get the same amazing results. right now. You can register to my waitlist at theaho.co/AHA waitlist, and you will be one of the first ones to know when the course is open. So the link to register is theaho.co/AHA waitlist. I have a lot of discounts in the first launch, so join me. Before I move to the next tip, please click subscribe to my channel. I will make sure to keep you updated with all the strategies you need to get a job. How many people apply for a job? Usually from 300 to even 500. How many people will finally land a job offer? Unfortunately, only one. How to become that final candidate? You need to stand out from other competitors. And the best way to do that is my next tip: impress with experience. Your experience is the only place to impress the hiring manager, because this is the part you talk about your experience, and everyone is unique when it comes to experience. No two candidates can have the same experience, even though they work in the same company, the same position, because your experience will have your personal touch. But many job seekers make the mistake of not standing out, not highlighting their unique experience, because in their work experience, they just talk about the tasks they've done in the position. But I guess you already know that the task will be 90% the same for the same job title. If you list out the tasks that are also on your competitor's resume, you don't stand out. Remember, hiring managers skim hundreds of resumes. They have seen so many resumes of the same background, same responsibilities. If you're not different, they just skip over you and move on to the next candidate. So how to stop them? Talk about your experience, and more specifically, your achievements, your results. Not only write about the tasks you do, but also go deeper to talk about what challenges you face in that job, how you came up with solutions, what actions you took to solve it, what results you've got after solving it, any recognition you gain from it. Dig deeper and deeper to ask yourself these questions and make your experience concrete with the information you've got from your answers. That's the best way to impress hiring managers with your experience. If you can't remember everything I taught you in this video, please remember this strategy. It brought job offer to myself and to my clients to land our 5 to 6 figure salary jobs. Now, do you feel that you've got enough tips to write a good resume in 2021 and get the job you want? No. I still want to give you more free tips to ensure that you not only write a good resume, but you will also write a killer resume that can land numerous interviews for you. So make sure that you will check out these 2 videos right here, where I give you so many effective tips about resume mistakes that you should avoid at all costs to increase your success rate of getting interviews. What is the most important one in your application process to ensure you will get a job offer? Your interview skills, your resume, cover letter, LinkedIn profile. What is your answer? Let me know in the comments below. Personally, I always believe it's your resume, because your resume decides whether you will pass the applicant tracking system, get interviews, and also impress the hiring manager in the interviews to land the job offer. Don't agree with me? Well, let me invite you to my free resume masterclass, where I will explain to you one by one what your resume can do for you and how it helps you land a job offer. The link to join is theaho.co/aceresume. It's also in the first comment of this video. If you ask me, how can I get a job, Thea? My answer is very simple. Join my free resume masterclass at theaho.co/aceresume. I will prove it to you. If you have any questions for this video or any questions about your job search, let me know in the comments below. I will make sure to make new videos to answer your questions. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel to not missing out on the latest job search strategies for free. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.